The meeting room of the Galactic Council was filled with worried voices. 30 different species sat around the curved table, and every one of them looked scared. On the large screen in front of them, a blue-skinned was crying. "Please, anyone who can hear this," they said through the translator. "We need help. They came 3 days ago. They took our ships. They took our people. They are coming back for more. We cannot fight them. Please help us." The message ended. The council members looked at each other in silence. Ambassador stood up. He was tall and thin with 4 arms and green skin. "We all saw the message," he said. "The colony is under attack. We must help them." "The nearest peacekeeping fleet is 3 cycles away," another member said. "They do not have 3 cycles. They will destroy everything by then." "Then we send the bounty signal," said. "We offer payment to anyone who can reach them faster." "No one will come," a small, furry council member said. "The swarm has over 2,000 ships. It would be suicide to fight them." But they had no other choice. The council sent out the emergency bounty across every communication channel in the galaxy. They offered a huge payment for immediate help. They waited. No one responded. Far away from the council chambers, on a trading station near the edge of known space, Captain was drinking tea. The station was old and rusty, the kind of place where traders met to exchange goods away from official eyes. Liked it here. It was quiet. He was human, though no one at the station knew what that meant. Earth was not in any galactic database, and his crew had come through a wormhole 2 years ago, and they had been stuck in this part of the galaxy ever since. They made money by hauling cargo from station to station in their ship, the Dancing Crane. His communication pad beeped. He looked down at it and saw the council's emergency message. He read it slowly, his dark eyes moving across the text. "The colony, the attack, the bounty offer." Walked over to his table. She was his co-pilot, a young woman with short black hair and quick hands. "You saw it?" she asked. "Yes," said. "The coordinates are along our trade route," said. She sat down across from him. "We could check it out just to see." Knew what she really meant. They both did. Someone needed help, and they were close enough to do something about it. Appeared from behind a stack of cargo crates. He was the ship's engineer, a broad-shouldered man who could fix anything mechanical. "I heard about the message," he said. "Are we really thinking about this?" 2,000 ships, said. "Everyone says it is impossible." "Most things are impossible until someone does them," said quietly. He stood up. We leave in 1 hour." Was in the station's medical bay, trading medicine supplies. She was the crew's doctor, small and serious, with gentle hands and a sharp mind. When told her they were going to help she just nodded and packed her equipment. The Dancing Crane was not a beautiful ship. It was a medium-sized freighter designed to carry cargo across long distances. The hull was thick and dark gray. The engines were powerful, built to push through difficult space. It looked like a working ship, not a military vessel. Inside, the 4 humans prepared for departure, sat in the captain's chair and started the launch sequence, took her place at the navigation and weapons console, went down to engineering to make sure the engines were ready, secured the medical bay. "All systems ready," reported. "Course set for the colony," said. "Engaging FTL drive." The Dancing Crane lifted off from the station and shot into space. The stars stretched into lines as the ship jumped to faster-than-light speed. The journey would take 2 days. During those 2 days, the crew prepared, checked the ship's weapons. They only had one, designed for clearing space debris and asteroids. It had never been fired at another ship. Reinforced the hull plating and improved the shield generators. Stocked medical supplies. Studied everything they knew about They were in species, aggressive and organized like a swarm. They took what they wanted and destroyed what they did not need. Their ships were fast and numerous. They had been raiding the outer colonies for 5 years, and no one had been able to stop them. "We are 4 people in 1 cargo ship," said, looking at the data. This is crazy. Probably, agreed, but we are already on the way. On the second day, they dropped out of FTL near the colony. The planet hung in space below them, blue and peaceful. For a moment, everything was quiet. Then the proximity alarm screamed. 3 fighters were coming straight at them, fast and aggressive. "Here we go," said, his hand steady on the controls. The galaxy was about to learn what humans could do. The 3 fighters spread out in an attack formation. They were sleek and black, shaped like blades. Each one was about half the size of the dancing crane. Their weapons powered up, glowing red in the darkness of space. A harsh voice came through the communication channel. "Unknown vessel, you have entered territory. Surrender your ship and prepare to be boarded. Resistance will result in your death." Looked at the fighters on his screen. He pressed the button to respond. "This is Captain of the Dancing Crane. We are here to help the colony. Leave this system immediately." There was a moment of silence. Then the fighters started laughing. The sound was clicking and hissing through the translator. "You dare threaten us. You are one small cargo ship. We are the swarm. You will burn." The 3 fighters opened fire. Energy bolts streaked toward the dancing crane. "Evasive," shouted. His fingers flew across her console. The dancing crane suddenly dove down and to the left in a sharp, brutal turn. The G-forces pushed everyone back into their seats. The enemy fire missed completely. In the lead fighter, the pilot stared at his screen in shock. How did they move that fast? No cargo ship can turn like that. His second officer checked the readings. "Sir, they pulled 8 on that turn. That would kill most species. The crew should be unconscious or dead." But the humans were not dead. In the dancing crane was breathing hard but steady. The pressure suit he wore helped, but 8 still felt like someone sitting on his chest. "Target the lead fighter. Give weapons full power." Down in engineering, rerouted energy from the cargo bay lights and the backup life support. "You have full power," he called up to the bridge. Locked onto the lead fighter, she looked at her targeting screen and frowned. "Their shields are very weak, and their hull is thin, really thin." "Are you sure?" asked. "Yes, my scan shows their hull is less than 10 centimeters thick. That is barely anything." Thought about that. The dancing crane's hull was 50 centimeters of reinforced titanium and carbon composite. It had to be strong to survive Earth's harsh space debris field and the dangerous asteroids near their home planet. These ships seemed fragile by comparison. "Then 1 shot should be enough," said. "Fire when ready." Press the firing button. The mounted on top of the dancing crane activated. It was a simple weapon, designed to shoot small metal slugs at very high speed to break up asteroids and space junk. The slug was only 5 centimeters wide, but it left the gun at 15 kilometers per second. The metal slug hit the lead fighter in the center. The fighter's shields flickered and died instantly. The slug punched through the thin hull like it was paper. It came out the other side. The fighter exploded in a ball of fire. The other 2 fighters stopped moving. For 3 seconds, nothing happened. Then they turned and ran, their engines burning at maximum power as they fled. "They are retreating," said surprised. "We killed 1 and the others just ran away." "Smart of them," said through the intercom. Opened a channel to the colony below. "This is Captain of the Dancing Crane. We are responding to your distress call. Is anyone there?" The reply came fast. Appeared on the screen. He was blue-skinned with large, dark eyes and a delicate frame. He stared at with his mouth open. You destroyed a fighter," the said slowly. "In seconds with a cargo ship." "Yes," said. "Is there somewhere we can land? We came to help." The blinked several times. "I am the colony administrator. Yes, please land at our main spaceport. I am sending you the coordinates now." The dancing crane descended toward the planet. As they got closer, they could see the damage from the raids, burn marks on buildings, empty docks where ships used to be. The colony looked hurt. They landed on a wide platform. The four humans put on their helmets and walked down the cargo ramp. A crowd of waited for them, but they stayed far back, watching nervously. Stepped forward. He was small, only coming up to his chest. "Thank you for coming," he said. "We did not think anyone would respond to our call." "We were close by," said. He held out his hand. "I am this isn't." Looked at his hand, confused, whispered, "It is a greeting custom." She reached out and gently shook his delicate hand. Flinched at the touch. "You are very strong," he said quietly. "Your grip, I could feel the power in it." Stepped forward and removed her helmet. Several in the crowd gasped. Some of them fainted. "What is wrong?" asked concerned. Stared at her forward-facing eyes, at her teeth visible when she spoke, at the muscles in her neck and shoulders. You are predators. Your species evolved as hunters." "Well, yes," said. "Humans are omnivores. We hunt, but we also gather plants. Is that a problem?" "No, no," said quickly. "It is just, we have never seen a predator species before. Most intelligent life in the galaxy evolved from prey animals." Picked up a cargo container from the ramp. It was full of their supplies, weighing about 200 kilograms. He lifted it easily and carried it down. The watching him took several steps back. "That container," one scientist said, "it requires a loading machine to move it." "It is heavy," agreed, "but manageable." Pulled out a data pad. His hands shook as he typed. "What is your called?" Earth said. Searched the galactic database. His eyes grew wider and wider as he read. "Your planet is classified as a Class 12. That is the highest danger rating possible. Gravity of 1.0 g, oxygen content of 21%, severe weather, large predators, frequent geological disasters." He looked up at the humans. "You evolved on a planet that should not be able to support intelligent life. You are." Shrugged. "Earth is home, we manage." In orbit above the planet, the two fighters that had escaped sent an emergency message to their commander. They reported what happened, read the report and laughed. "One cargo ship destroyed our fighter. Impossible. It must have been a lucky shot." He looked at his fleet of 200 warships. "Send me these coordinates. I will crush these humans myself and show them what real power looks like." The swarm turned toward the colony. They did not know they were making a fatal mistake. They gave the humans a building near the spaceport to use as a base. It was a simple structure with rooms for sleeping and a large open area for planning. Brought them food and water, though he seemed nervous the entire time. "We have 3 days at most before the main fleet arrives," said. "Our scans show they are coming with everything they have, over 200 ships." Sat at a table, looking at a map of the colony. "Tell me about your defenses." Looked down. "We have no defenses. They are a peaceful species. We have never had military ships or weapons. Our planet has low gravity, only 0.4 g. We are fragile. We cannot fight." "Everyone can fight," said. He was working on a broken computer terminal in the corner. "They just need the right tools and training." "Our bodies cannot handle combat," explained. "A strong impact would break our bones. High acceleration would make us unconscious. We are not built for violence." Was setting up a medical station. "Then we will fight for you," she said simply. "But you can help in other ways. Do you have mining ships, construction equipment?" "Yes, we have mining vessels for asteroid work, and construction drones for building." "Good," said. "We can use those." Over the next 2 days, the humans worked without stopping. They slept only 4 hours each night. They watched in amazement as these moved cargo, built defenses, and planned strategies with intense focus. Taught them about human medicine so they could understand how to help if the humans got injured. They were horrified. "You can survive losing 40% of your blood?" a doctor asked. "Yes," said. "The human body is very resilient. We can function with broken bones, damaged organs, and severe injuries. Our bodies keep fighting to stay alive." "That is terrifying," the doctor whispered. "Trained some of thee on the mining ships. She showed them how to use the ship's cutting lasers and tractor beams as weapons. They were afraid of the high speeds and sharp maneuvers." "You want us to fly at 3?" a pilot asked, his voice shaking. "No," said, "I will fly at 3, you will operate the weapon systems. Just point and shoot when I tell you." Modified 2 mining ships, adding armor plating and improving their engines. He worked in the hangar bay, welding metal and rewiring systems. The engineers watched him work. "He has been working for 16 hours without rest," one engineer said. "Humans have very high endurance," another replied. "I read about it in the database. They evolved as persistence hunters. They can work or run for many hours without stopping." On the 3rd day, the alarms went off. The fleet had arrived. Stood on the bridge of the dancing crane, looking at the sensor display. 217 enemy ships filled the screen. They moved in perfect formation, a massive swarm of death and destruction. A communication channel opened. The face appeared on the screen. He was large with thick black armor covering his body. His mandibles clicked as he spoke. "I am commander of this fleet. I have come to destroy the foolish beings who killed my fighters. Surrender now and I will make your deaths quick." Looked at the commander. His face showed no fear. "I am captain of Earth. Leave this system now and we will let you live." Stared at him, then he started laughing. The clicking, hissing sound filled the bridge. "You are 4 beings in 1 cargo ship and you threaten me. I have 200 warships. You are either very brave or very stupid." "Maybe both," said. He closed the communication channel. Looked at him. "Are we really doing this?" "Yes," said. "Get into position. This is going to be rough." The dancing crane and the 2 modified mining ships moved away from the colony. They formed a small triangle in space. Behind them, the colony held its breath. The fleet advanced slowly, confident in their overwhelming numbers. They expected an easy victory. They expected the enemy to run or surrender. They did not expect what happened next. Gave the order, "All ships full thrust, attack pattern Delta, engage." The dancing crane shot forward at maximum acceleration. The G-forces pushed and back into their seats, but they were ready for it. Their pressure suits helped distribute the load. They had trained in higher gravity than this. The 2 mining ships followed, with human pilots pushing them to speeds that would have killed their crews if they had been flying. The weapons operators inside held on and tried not to pass out. The fleet opened fire. Hundreds of energy weapons lit up space, but the human ships were moving too fast and too unpredictably. They dodged and weaved through the attacks. "Target the command ship," ordered. The dancing crane dove straight into the center of the formation. It was insane. It was reckless. It was exactly what a prey species would never expect from an attacker. They fired again and again. Each shot destroyed or crippled a fighter. The mining ships used their cutting lasers to slice through enemy hulls. They used their tractor beams to throw ships into each other. Watched in disbelief as his fleet fell into chaos. What are they doing? Why do they keep charging forward? Why do they not retreat? His tactical officer checked the sensors. "Sir, those ships are pulling 9 in their turns, 10 in their attack runs. Their crews should be dead." "But they are not dead," screamed. Kill them now." The battle raged for 2 hours. They had superior numbers, but the humans had superior tactics and superior biology. They could handle forces and speeds that would destroy other species. They could think clearly in situations that would make others panic. And most importantly, they were fighting to protect someone who could not protect themselves. That made them more dangerous than any weapon. One of the mining ships took heavy fire. Its shields failed and explosions tore through the hull. The crew evacuated in escape pods. The human pilot, a woman named Sarah, set the ship on a collision course with a cruiser and then ejected at the last second. The mining ship hit the cruiser at full speed. Both ships exploded. "Sora is safe," reported. "Her pod is heading back to the colony." "Good," said. "One ship left. Time to finish this." He looked at the command ship where commanded his fleet, made a decision. A crazy, dangerous, very human decision. Plot a ramming course, full speed, right into their hangar bay. Looked at him. "That will be 12 for 30 seconds. "I know," said. "Can you handle it?" She smiled. "Let us find out." The dancing crane turned and accelerated straight at the command ship. The G-forces were crushing. Felt like he weighed 1,000 kilograms. His pressure suit squeezed his legs and torso, keeping blood flowing to his brain. He could barely breathe. His vision started to gray at the edges. But he held on. Humans were persistence hunters. They did not quit. They did not give up. The dancing crane smashed into the command ship's hangar bay at 15 kilometers per second. The crash shook the entire command ship. The dancing crane tore through the hangar bay doors like they were not even there. Metal screamed and twisted. Explosions rippled through the deck. The cargo ship slid to a stop in the middle of the massive hangar, surrounded by fires and debris. Inside, the dancing crane unbuckled his harness. His whole body hurt. 12 for 30 seconds had pushed him to his absolute limit. He tasted blood in his mouth, but he was alive. Next to him was already standing up, checking her equipment. "Status report," said into his helmet radio. "Engineering is damaged but functional," replied. His voice was steady despite the pain he must be feeling. "We are not flying out of here, though. The engines are dead." "Medical bay is secure," said. "I am ready to move." "Then let us go," said. "We have a ship to take." The four humans grabbed their weapons. They were simple things not designed for war. Had a pneumatic rivet gun from the engineering bay, carried a large metal wrench, had her medical tools, had a handheld welding torch. They were not soldiers. They were traders. But they were human, and humans had been fighting for survival since before they could even speak. The cargo ramp lowered. Smoke poured into the ship. The humans walked out into the hangar bay wearing their pressure suits and helmets. Warriors were already rushing toward them. There were dozens of them, each one larger than a human, covered in black chitinous armor. They carried energy rifles and plasma blades. They looked like nightmares. "Contact," shouted. They opened fire. Energy bolts filled the air. The humans dove behind the wreckage of their ship for cover, looked at the approaching warriors and calculated distances and angles with the instincts of a predator. "Spread out," he ordered. "Use their size against them." The humans split up and ran in different directions. They tried to track them, but the humans were fast, faster than they expected. On their high gravity, humans had evolved to be quick and agile. Here, in the lower gravity of the ship, they moved like ghosts. Reached the first warrior. The warrior swung its plasma blade down at him. With reflexes honed by millions of years of hunting lions and tigers and bears on Earth, he swung his heavy wrench into the warrior's knee joint. The leg bent backward with a crack. The warrior fell, hit it again in the head this time. The warrior stopped moving. Two more charged at him, ran, not away but toward them. He ducked under their weapons and rolled between them. As he came up behind them, he struck the back of one warrior's leg. It fell. The other one turned but was already moving again. On the other side of the hangar was using her medical knowledge in a very different way. She knew exactly where to strike to cause maximum damage. A blow to the nerve cluster near the neck, a cut to the artery in the leg. She moved with surgical precision, and the warriors fell around her. Used her rivet gun to pin a warrior's arm to the wall. Then she kicked its legs out from under it. She was not as strong as, but she was fast and smart. She used the environment, throwing metal debris, using smoke for cover, staying in constant motion. Fought his way toward the hangar exit. His welding torch burned through armor and flesh. He moved forward with relentless determination. Nothing would stop him. The warriors began to realize something terrifying. These humans were not running away. They were hunting. More arrived, flooding into the hangar bay. There were too many of them. The humans were outnumbered 50-1, but they did not stop. They could not stop. It was not in their nature. Somewhere in the depths of human DNA, coded by 3 million years of survival, was a simple truth. You keep fighting until you cannot fight anymore. You do not give up, ever. Watched the battle through security cameras. He could not believe what he was seeing. 4 beings, wounded and exhausted, were holding off dozens of his best warriors. It was impossible. "Send everyone," he screamed, "kill them." But then reached the hangar exit. He sealed the door behind him and the other humans. They were inside the ship now, in the corridors. "Can you access their systems?" asked. Pulled out a small computer pad. He connected it to a wall panel and started typing. "Their security is weak," he said. "I can open doors, lock doors, control the gravity in different sections. This ship's computer system is very basic." "Then let us make them uncomfortable," said. Smiled behind his helmet. He started changing the ship systems. Lights went out in some corridors. Doors locked randomly. Gravity increased in the areas where warriors were gathering, slowing them down. The humans moved through the ship like a coordinated pack. They had fought together for 2 years, hauling cargo and dealing with pirates and accidents. They knew how each other thought. They did not need long explanations or complicated plans. Found the ship's medical bay. Inside were prisoners captured from earlier raids. They huddled in cages, terrified, broke open the locks. "Stay here," she told them in the language. "Hide, we will protect you." They stared at her with wide eyes. One of them whispered, "You are the ones from the impossible planet." "Yes," said, "and we came to help." Meanwhile, and were fighting their way up to the command deck. They moved through corridor after corridor, facing warriors at every turn. They were outnumbered and running out of time, but they kept moving forward. On the command deck, paced back and forth. His officers watched the security feeds in horror as the 4 humans came closer and closer. "How are they still alive?" one officer asked. "We have shot them multiple times. They should be dead." "Look at their suits," another officer said. "They are armor, and look at the way they move even when injured. They do not slow down. What kind of species can ignore pain and injury like that?" Slammed his fist on the console. "They are just 4 beings. We are the swarm. We have conquered 100 worlds." "Commander," an officer said quietly, "maybe we should retreat. These humans, they are too dangerous. This is not worth." "No," screamed, "I will kill them myself." He grabbed his plasma rifle and headed for the door. Behind him, his officers exchanged worried looks. Their commander had lost his mind. The command deck doors opened. Stepped out into the corridor, ready to face the humans. Stood at the other end of the hallway. His pressure suit was damaged and his helmet was cracked. Blood ran down his arm from a wound in his shoulder, but he stood straight and steady, his welding torch in one hand. Behind him, covered the rear corridor, was hacking another control panel, was treating wound while still watching for enemies. Looked at them. "You have destroyed my fleet. You have invaded my ship. You have killed my warriors. All of this for a colony that is not even your own species. Why?" Looked at the commander. "Because they asked for help," he said simply, "and we were nearby." "That is all?" asked. "You risk your lives just to help strangers?" "Yes," said. Did not understand. In his species, in most species across the galaxy, you fought for territory or resources or survival. You did not fight for others unless there was profit in it. But humans were different. Humans had evolved in tribes, protecting each other, hunting together, sharing food with the weak and wounded. It was coded into their very nature to help those who needed it. Raised his rifle, stepped forward. The final confrontation was about to begin. Fired his plasma rifle. The bolt shot down the corridor toward, but the human captain was already moving. He dove to the side with reflexes that seemed impossible for a being his size. The plasma bolt hit the wall behind him, melting metal. Rolled and came up running. He charged straight at. The commander was twice his size and covered in armor, but did not care. He had learned long ago that size did not always matter in a fight. Swung his rifle like a club, ducked under it and activated his welding torch. The hot flame cut across armor, leaving a glowing line, roared in pain and anger. Behind, the rest of the team moved into position, covered the hallway with her rivet gun, making sure no other could interfere. Accessed the command deck systems, taking control of the ship. Prepared medical supplies, ready for when this fight ended. Grabbed and threw him against the wall. The impact would have killed most species. Felt his ribs crack. Pain shot through his chest, but he had broken bones before. Every human had. Their bodies were built to take damage and keep going. Pushed off the wall and tackled legs. They both crashed to the floor, tried to stab him with his mandibles, rolled away and struck joint with his torch. The armor cracked. They fought in the narrow corridor, neither one backing down. Had strength and size. Had speed and endurance and the desperate determination of a species that had clawed its way to the top of Earth's food chain. Finally, got behind and wrapped his arm around the commander's throat. It was a move as old as humanity itself, used by ancient humans to bring down prey much larger than themselves. Struggled, but held on with the grip of a persistent hunter. He did not let go. Struggles grew weaker, his legs stopped kicking, he went limp. Released him and stepped back, breathing hard. His whole body hurt. His vision was blurry from exhaustion and pain, but he was alive. "Status?" he asked. "I have control of the ship," replied, "sending a message to all vessels now." Activated the communication system. His voice went out to every ship in the fleet. "This is the Dancing Crane. Your command ship is captured. Your commander is defeated. Leave this system immediately or we will destroy every one of your vessels." There was silence. Then slowly, the ships began to turn away. They activated their FTL drives and disappeared into the darkness of space. Within 10 minutes, the entire fleet was gone. On the colony below, thousands of beings watched the sky as the enemy fleet vanished. They could not believe it. 4 humans in one cargo ship had defeated the entire swarm. Fell to his knees and cried. His people were saved. Back on the command ship was treating injuries. She worked quickly and efficiently, her hands steady despite her own exhaustion. "You have 3 broken ribs, multiple contusions, and a fractured wrist," she said. "You need to rest." "Later," said. "First we get the prisoners off this ship and make sure the colony is safe." It took 6 hours to organize everything. The humans freed all the prisoners and took them back to the colony. They left the command ship in orbit with Locked in his own brig. They sent a message to the Galactic Council about what had happened. When they finally returned to the colony surface, a massive crowd was waiting for them. Thousands have filled the spaceport. They cheered and sang and cried with joy. Stepped forward, his legs were shaking. "You saved us," he said. "We can never repay you for what you have done." "We do not need payment," said. "We were just doing what was right." "But the bounty," insisted. "The council offered a huge reward. You deserve it." Shook her head. "Use that money to rebuild your colony, to help your people. We have everything we need." They could not understand this. In their experience, beings only help when there was profit involved. But these humans had risked their lives, fought impossible odds, and asked for nothing in return. News of the battle spread across the galaxy faster than light. By the next day, every world knew about the from Earth who had defeated the swarm. The stories grew with each telling. Some said the humans were giants. Others said they could not be killed. All of them said that humans were not to be trifled with. 3 days later, a Galactic Council ship arrived at the colony. Ambassador himself had come to meet these legendary beings. He found them working on repairs to their ship in the hangar bay. Was nervous as he approached. He had read the reports. He had seen the battle footage. These humans had done what an entire fleet could not do. "Captain," he called out. Looked up from the engine part he was fixing. "Yes, can I help you?" "I am Ambassador of the Galactic Council," he said. "I came to thank you personally for saving the colony. Your actions were extraordinary." "We just did what needed to be done," said. Looked around at the four humans. They were covered in grease and dirt from their repair work. They looked like simple traders, not legendary warriors. "The Council wishes to offer you a position," he said. "We want to hire you as peacekeepers, to protect colonies on the frontier. We will give you ships, weapons, territory, whatever you need." The four humans looked at each other, smiled, shook his head, laughed softly. "Thank you," said. "But we are traders, not soldiers. We just want to haul cargo and explore the galaxy. Maybe help people when we can." Did not understand. "But you could have power, influence, you could command fleets." "We do not want those things," explained. "We just want to be free to travel and see new places." The ambassador stared at them. "You defeated the swarm and you ask for nothing." "Well," said with a grin, "if you know anyone who needs cargo hauled, we could use the work." Left the colony confused but amazed. He updated Earth's file in the galactic database. The new entry read, "Species, human. Origin, Earth Class 12, extremely dangerous when threatened, extremely helpful when befriended. Approach with respect and honesty. Warning, do not mistake kindness for weakness." The dancing crane was repaired 3 weeks later. The crew said goodbye to the who cried and hugged them carefully, gave them gifts and supplies for their journey. "Will you come back?" asked. "Maybe," said. "We travel where the work takes us, but if you ever need help again, send us a message. We will come." The dancing crane lifted off from the colony and jumped to FTL. The four humans continued their journey through the galaxy, hauling cargo and exploring new worlds. But their story had changed the galaxy forever. Word spread to every corner of known space. When colonies were threatened, when pirates attacked, when help was needed, beings whispered the same hope: "Call the humans. They will come." And across the frontier, in dark stations and remote outposts, humans began to appear. Some were explorers like crew. Others were scientists, traders, or wanderers. They were all different, but they shared one thing in common. When someone needed help, they responded. The galaxy learned that were not monsters to be feared. They were friends to be treasured. And that perhaps the most dangerous thing about humans was not their strength or their weapons or their endurance. It was their compassion, their willingness to risk everything for strangers, their absolute refusal to abandon those in need. The swarm never raided another colony. The story of their defeat became legend. And somewhere in deep space, sat in the captain's chair of the dancing crane, drinking tea and looking at the stars. "What is our next destination?" asked. Smiled. "I heard about a mining station that needs supplies. It is 3 weeks away." "Then let us go," said. The dancing crane jumped to FTL, disappearing into the vast darkness of space. 4 humans from a planet called Earth, continuing their journey, just traders trying to make a living. But the galaxy knew the truth. They were here, and they were on your side.